Hey, it's Tim Terrio hanging out up in Fresno again, the Terrio Edge in Fresno, the man Steve Sabonia. So today we're going to tackle, we talked about the box programs and how appropriate those are. So today what I want to talk about is this trend, well, it isn't a current trend, right, because it's been going on for years, that high school coaches want a good program and did it great for you guys going out looking for the best programs, but they always turn and say, what's the top college program? And then they go and learn that and they adopt that. So what are your thoughts on taking a college program, Division I college program, and using it for high school?
There's no doubt about it. The components to the programs are going to be fantastic. They're going to be very good because, they're put together by people that know what they're doing. They're educated. They usually have a guy that's really good on their staff with nutrition, really good for their staff for recovery purpose, really good on their staff for speed training. It's going to be really good strength guy, that kind of stuff. And the problem is that those programs are designed for example, we'll say if we're going to say, well, we're going to use the USC program.
Because that's a big one right now, right?
Yeah.
Since USC hit their dominance, now everybody's talking about,
right.
Hey, let's use the USC program.
The problem is that program was designed for USC athletes, which are top of the notch on a scale of 1 to 10. Those guys are 10s, almost every one of them coming out of high school. So they're already fast when they get there. They're already pretty big and physical before they get there. They've already got a lot of the developmental qualities of an athlete before they even get there. Their base program, their genetics are allowing that.
Right.
So they're a different type of athlete than the regular everyday high school athlete. High school might be lucky to have one kid like that. Right. They'd be lucky to have one. Maybe 8 high schools might be lucky to have one total.
Yeah, because you've got how many millions of kids playing high school football, high school sports.
Right.
And then out of that, a very small percentage are ever going to see college football.
And especially at the really high level of college football.
Right.
So is what happens, in addition to that, those programs are designed to the highest level. They're great programs, designed to the highest level for not only that type of athlete, but also those type of facilities.
Oh yeah, good point.
And also the facilities for recovery too. So those kids get fed right after they're working out and so on. So don't get me wrong, there is some great components, and I think that high school coaches, if they're going to look at those programs, my advice to them would be, look at them, figure out what components might be workable in your situation with your type of athletes, your type of facilities, and then do the homework. What do we have to do before we need to start doing this stuff to get our kids ready to be able to do those activities at that type of level?
Yeah, because from a therapeutic standpoint, we see them you got to remember the whole growth thing too. I mean, there's a huge difference between that 13, 14-year-old freshman and a senior in high school.
Yeah, let alone a senior in college.
Right, at a Division I program. So you take the elite. So I guess the moral of the story is, there's great programs, but are they appropriate for 99% of the kids in high school?
Yeah. And again, I think that there's the parts of those programs, as long as the homework is done to make sure that you set those athletes so they're applicable to the high school athlete in general. And so, for example, like the lifting loads and that type of stuff, they might be a little bit too much for a 14, 15-year-old kid, because we're talking about athletes that are trained athletes that those programs are designed for, that are now at their prime, 19, 20, 21-year-old athletes that have the best facilities available to them and so on. So there's some thinking and homework that need to be taken place. And there's nothing wrong as a strength coach in being a thief and stealing ideas. I do it all the time. I'm really good at that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to steal the whole thing or use the whole thing, you got to really watch what components work for you. So small little bits and pieces.
Yeah, I mean, the epitome is always true. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You've got to build a foundation first. Yep. And I think that's the biggest problem is the high school kids don't have that solid muscular structural foundation to throw a top program on top of.
Right. Oh, no question. We've always talked about periodization and different components, and periodization changes with every level of development. Right. I think that the bigger base periods of your periodization, meaning your fundamental joint stabilization, temperature phase, your strength phase, those need to be a lot bigger and a lot more developmental for the younger athlete, just because they're young. They're still learning how to develop force through their muscles and stabilize different joints and so on. And once they learn how to do that, then they can worry about producing force at a faster rate and so on. And so the development of those should be definitely taking place.
Yeah, so it needs to be, when you're setting up your program, it needs to be not only age appropriate, but it needs to be level appropriate too.
Correct.
Right? Okay. Well, hey, that's what we'll leave it at that. We'll be checking in soon again. We'll tackle some other topics, but hopefully for now you see great programs out there. But let's use a little bit of intelligence and homework on when it's appropriate to implement them. Talk to you soon.